Craig, o criador do canal Newegg Craig, costuma postar vídeos de culinária, mas em outubro de 2020 acabou cometendo um grande erro ao decidir fazer uma viagem de acampamento sozinho nas proximidades do lago Spruce Pond.
Hello? Anyone there? Someone there?
Sons estranhos começaram a ecoar vindos da floresta. No início, Craig achou que fossem apenas ruídos comuns da natureza, mas à medida que a noite avançava e os barulhos se tornavam mais intensos, uma sensação de desconforto e medo começou a tomar conta dele.
Who's there? Hello? Someone there? Okay. That's not good. What the fuck?
Craig avistou um homem usando uma máscara escondido entre os arbustos. Tomado pelo pânico e temendo por sua vida, ele fugiu às pressas, deixando todo o seu acampamento para trás. Até hoje, a identidade e as intenções daquela figura mascarada continuam sendo um mistério. Moxley é um investigador paranormal conhecido por seus vídeos de exploração e acampamento, enfrentando desafios diferentes a cada episódio. Seja acampando em florestas assombradas ou explorando prédios abandonados, ele já passou por várias situações estranhas, mas aquela noite seria inesquecível. Ele saiu em viagem com seu amigo Ming, rumando para uma floresta onde Moxley já havia acampado antes. Essa é uma das florestas mais assombradas do Reino Unido, palco do desastre da mina Victoria Pits, onde 344 pessoas perderam a vida. Com um histórico tão macabro, eles sabiam que os aguardava uma noite realmente assustadora.
It's been about 16 months since the last time I was up here. Yeah, the amount of history to this place is unreal. Victoria Pit. Just been walking back down there, burnt out motorbikes and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, this was the beginning of the original site.
Yeah.
Just there. How you feeling, Ming?
I'm shattered. That burnt out motorbike down there is ridiculous.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wheelbarrows, all sorts of stuff. Not only have we got to watch out for paranormal, we have to watch out for people coming up, burning motorbikes out, I suppose. All we've got to do now is find somewhere where we can put the tents out, and then I'll get into getting a little bit of the history of what happened out here in the hauntings as well. These are perfect. So I can come back and collect a load of these bricks, and then with them we can do like a little fire pit, get a fire going, keep warm. Not too sure what that was. Just like a black shadow went. Could have been somebody on a push bike, to be fair. Thought we were a lot further in than that. Could have sworn a shadow went straight through, and it was silent.
Uma figura negra surgiu rapidamente no fundo da tela. Ao rever as imagens depois, não havia como negar o quão estranho aquilo parecia. Pouco tempo depois, um assobio ecoou pela floresta. Seriam outras pessoas ou o início de alguma atividade paranormal?
Let's get the kettle on, have a coffee, then wait for nightfall to... That fucking scared me then. That was very loud, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was really loud.
I was like, hey. So there is people in the woods. That will explain what I seen going past then.
They set up camp and brewed some coffee, waiting for nightfall. Soon, more strange things followed.
We sat here minding our own business, and then all of a sudden, we heard these bangs coming from here. You heard it, didn't you?
It was loud, mate.
It was distinctive, I'll tell you that now.
It was very distinctive. It was like douche, douche, douche.
We really don't know what they were, but why does everything seem to be coming from over that side today?
I know. Where the pits are.
Of course, that's where it is.
The pits are over there. I really see it on this camera, but mate, I think somebody else could be having a fire over there.
I can see it through the trees.
It's bright orange.
Yeah. I'm not sure we can.
There, I can just see. I see it a little bit right in the centre of the screen. Is something just off?
Fortes barulhos começaram a vir da floresta na direção das antigas minas. Logo depois, eles notaram o que parecia ser uma fogueira ao longe. Seria alguém por perto ou algo que não podiam explicar? A sensação de que algo estava errado só aumentava. Movido pela curiosidade, Moxley decidiu caminhar lentamente pela mata, sacando seu Spirit Box. Não demorou muito para que alguma atividade estranha começasse a se manifestar.
Shall we? Turn the spirit talker on. Just whilst walking through. Just to see if anything comes through on it. Right, so we're hearing some weird noises out here. Is it you walking around?
It's a bad idea.
It's a... What's a bad idea? Coming out here? Camping out here overnight? You're trying to warn us not to do it? Paul. Who's here with me? Who's out here in this forest?
We're all around you.
What? We're all around you. In one of the stories is of eyes, stuff like that, that's been seen watching people. So it's you that's watching us. Is it you that's walking through here? Come up to our camp. There's our camp, just there. And there's Ming just sat down. Right.
Find my ashes.
Find my ashes.
Após receber respostas intensas no dispositivo, Moxley decidiu voltar para o acampamento. No entanto, os ruídos não pararam. Agora, pareciam vozes sussurrando na escuridão.
I've literally just come back from walking around.
You've just been over that side.
Yeah. There's nobody there, mate.
Well, I'm glad you've got your camera on.
I heard that voice then.
Yeah, I did.
You've got...
Sorry, mate, but I'm just...
Oh, my God's sake. Is there someone there?
Right, just bear with me a minute.
There's somebody here and there's somebody watching what we're doing.
Eles chamaram por alguém, mas ninguém respondeu. Logo em seguida, a estranha luz voltou a aparecer. Sentados ao redor da fogueira que tremeluzia no escuro, tentavam entender o que estava acontecendo, mas aquela noite ainda estava longe de acabar.
It does.
But it's WhatsApp. Did you hear that?
Hello?
Hello?
Folks, this is how bad. It's crazy. That light's back again. That light's back.
No, it is, mate.
That disappeared before.
That's a fire, that.
Is that what it is?
That's a fire.
right.
You can see it twinkling away.
Okay.
So we know we're 100% not alone out here. It's 100% somebody coming this way, mate. Yeah, 100%. Put your light down for a minute.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll bugger off the other way. But something 100% hit me tent. I'm not too sure what it was, but
Yeah.
it could have, well, we're underneath trees, so it could have been a branch that's fell off. But it's just weird that come out to check. And it's literally, I'm keeping, wait, where'd they go? There they are. You just see them coming through.
Right.
Turn your torch off them. We don't want them to come over if we can avoid it.
Alguém ou alguma coisa bateu na barraca deles. Ao verificarem, viram uma figura se movendo à distância pela floresta. Para não chamar atenção, mantiveram as luzes baixas. Algumas horas se passaram. Moxley ficou em sua barraca lendo, enquanto Ming relaxava na sua. Depois, Moxley decidiu sair novamente e avistou mais luzes ao longe, tochas e pessoas se aproximando deles.
Wait a minute. People in the woods. What the hell? I don't know if you're seeing those lights. There's definitely people there again. I think we're just going to walk over and do a bit of a ghost hunt. It's not coming up. Ming?
Yeah.
Ming?
Yeah.
Right. There's two sets of torches coming towards us, mate.
Right, okay.
I knew I heard something. When I was laying in the tent, I knew I heard something. Yeah, there is. I'm going to flash back over towards them. They're over there, where my torch is now. Yeah, you can see it. See them? Yeah, they're coming this way.
Algo definitivamente não estava certo. Alguém ou alguma coisa os observava. Com o passar das horas, eles tentaram descansar, mas os ruídos persistiam e aquela sensação estranha não os deixava em paz. Quando o sol finalmente nasceu, decidiram arrumar tudo e ir embora, levando consigo lembranças assustadoras daquela noite. Mas a dúvida permanecia. Seriam apenas pessoas tentando assustá-los ou algo muito mais sinistro? E aquela sombra vista no início não parecia nem um pouco humana. Sophie, do canal Outdoor Girl Sophie, sempre se desafia quando o assunto é natureza, explorando florestas densas e acampando sozinha.
Today my plan is to stay here in this wood shelter. We have quite a lot of these permanent wood shelters all around Denmark, and they have become very popular to camp in because you don't need to bring a tent, you just need to bring a sleeping pad and a sleeping bag, and then you have this lovely campsite where you can spend the night. Now I'm just gonna go out and look for some firewood.
Ela chegou, desfez a mochila, juntou lenha e acendeu uma pequena fogueira. Quando a noite caiu, sentou-se, preparou algo para comer e aproveitou o silêncio do lugar, até que aos poucos começou a sentir que algo não estava certo.
It's starting to get dark out here. The sun is gone over by the trees. It has been a beautiful evening, a beautiful day. But now I can feel that the temperature is dropping.
Uma luz estranha começou a piscar atrás dela, refletindo entre as árvores. Apareceu mais de uma vez. Havia algo ali. Sophie não percebeu naquele momento, mas ao rever as gravações mais tarde, viu tudo com clareza. Logo depois, ouviu barulhos, vozes ecoando pela floresta, rompendo o silêncio da noite.
And now the forest is starting to make a lot of sounds. I don't know what it is. As soon as it gets dark, all sounds just becomes a little bit scary. I have no idea if you can hear this on the camera, but there are these big, like, branches snapping or breaking in that direction. And now there's an airplane, so you probably can't hear it. But I'm just, I get a tiny bit scared whenever I hear that sound. But it's probably just a deer or something. I actually did see a deer on my way here when I was biking. It was laying just beside the path, and I scared it biking, so it jumped off and ran. Now I can hear some people talking in that direction. But I mean, we are very close to the city, and a lot of people are using this forest area. And most people are nice, so I don't think there's anything to be worried about, even though my brain can run off. And now my flashlight is flickering as if the battery is low. So that's gonna be interesting.
Alguém estava lá fora. Seria a mesma pessoa com a tocha que ela havia visto antes? Tentando afastar o medo, Sophie arrumou seu lugar para dormir dentro do abrigo, pendurando pequenas luzes ao redor na tentativa de se sentir mais segura.
Now I am laying in my sleeping bag, and I decided to have my head towards the opening. I feel it's kind of nice to be able to look out. So now I just need to set my alarm and then I can go to sleep. I hope that there won't be too many noises during the night. I will see you tomorrow.
Sophie conseguiu dormir por algumas horas e acordou cedo para arrumar suas coisas e seguir para sua casa. Nada mais aconteceu, mas uma coisa ficou clara: alguém ou algo a observava da floresta naquela noite. Em julho de 2018, Félix partiu para uma viagem de acampamento, passando a noite em um pequeno abrigo nas profundezas das montanhas. Mas o que aconteceu às 1h30 da manhã deixou ele e sua esposa completamente aterrorizados.
Teköhän igramusi. Mä en uvenet tekö. Tekö argaa. Kalle.
Onko vielä on himaan jamma?
Mulle. Kalle.
Suvi.
Siellä. Unigatório capilhão.
Eles acordaram com o som de algo grande se movendo do lado de fora do abrigo. Ao olharem pela janela, viram um enorme urso polar caminhando ao redor, encarando-os diretamente. Apenas uma fina camada de vidro os separava daquela criatura, mas aquilo ainda não havia terminado. Quando o dia amanheceu, o urso ainda estava lá, andando em círculos ao redor da cabana, totalmente ciente da presença deles lá dentro. O animal permaneceu por horas, rondando o local, sem ninguém por perto por quilômetros e sem qualquer meio de pedir ajuda. O casal ficou preso pelo medo. Quando acharam que o urso havia ido embora, ele voltou a circular até a janela, observando novamente. Mas é como sempre digo, é muito melhor encontrar um animal ou algo sobrenatural em um acampamento do que cruzar com outro ser humano. Andy e Sarah amam acampar com a caminhonete, explorar novos lugares, dormir sob as estrelas e aproveitar a paz da natureza. Mas nesta viagem, essa tranquilidade não durou muito. Eles haviam encontrado um local sossegado cercado por árvores altas e passaram o dia relaxando. Quando o sol se pôs, acenderam uma fogueira e prepararam o jantar. Porém, mais tarde naquela noite, sons estranhos começaram a ecoar pela floresta.
We're just gonna lounge for a bit and we'll be making dinner here in a little bit. It'll be pretty simple, I think, but that's alright.
Yeah, but oh my goodness, is this weather amazing.
Long sleeve.
Yeah, see,
I haven't worn long sleeves since, I think, Vietnam. Oh wait, no, that wasn't me.
Yeah, that wasn't you.
No.
I've worn long sleeves because I'm usually cold, but for Andy to wear a long sleeve, yeah, this is...
Yeah, it's chilly.
Ooh. Yummy.
Just heard a little bit of ruckus in the shrubbery. Man, it is so different being out here. The desert, you can see forever. Here, with the thick brush, it's just a whole nother world. Ooh, it's lightning out too. Ooh, I just got the goosebumps for some reason. Like, oh my Lord, I don't know why. I just got the goosebumps, something hardcore. I don't know. Maybe that is a sign to just go back to the camper. I usually have pretty good intuition. All right, I'm heading back to the camper. All right, we're back. We're back, we're safe. Sarah's doing the dishes. I don't know, that was interesting. I love the spotlight.
Andy pegou sua lanterna e iluminou as árvores, mas a escuridão parecia não ter fim. A sensação era estranha, como se alguém os estivesse observando. Ele voltou para a caminhonete, incomodado, e logo mais barulhos surgiram, galhos se quebrando e passos no chão da floresta.
All right, guys, we are back in. It was getting a little creepy out there. Heard some twigs snapping pretty close to us.
Yeah.
And yeah,
made me jump.
Yeah, she actually jumped. We're not used to being so like surrounded by trees and stuff. You know, the desert you can see for so far. So yeah.
And just hearing those weird noises and stuff. And then just the other night we watched the movie The Grey with wolves and Liam Neeson.
Good movie. But yeah, you just get a little creeped out, so.
Eles decidiram encerrar a noite e ficar dentro da caminhonete. Mesmo sem verem o que estava lá fora, uma coisa é certa. Quando você está cercado por uma floresta escura, nunca se sabe o que pode estar à espreita além da luz. Toby é um nômade. Ele viaja com sua barraca, vive ao ar livre e registra sua vida pelo caminho. Mas naquela noite em particular, ele enfrentou o medo de todo nômade. O vídeo começa com Toby tentando encontrar um local para tomar banho antes de procurar um lugar para acampar.
Anyway, I am heading down to the beachfront at Cromer because I'm going to try and find somewhere to sleep for the night. However, before that, thank you, mate. However, before that, I want to try and find somewhere to have a shower. This is a relentless problem of mine, but sometimes I can end up showering in the weirdest and randomest places. So for now, that's the mission for tonight. Get Toby clean. Oh no! That's this bedroom out the window then.
Ele chegou a uma área costeira, mas não era permitido acampar durante a noite. Caminhou por quilômetros através da floresta até retornar ao local na costa. Mas à medida que a escuridão avançava, algo começou a parecer estranho.
It's got the sign saying no camping and stuff like that. And I think I said something like that goes my bedroom for the night or whatever. So I'm coming back in here again now. But we'll see what's going on. I mean, it's dark, there's no one here. If I sat up here, it'd be gone before anyone comes over. Down into Cromer and early doors. So that's a van, you can't see that, but that's a van with the back doors open. So I might go up and walk past that and just make sure that it's no one who looks kind of dodgy or anything like that. I don't think it is. When I say dodgy, I mean like someone who could ask me to leave. Well, I'm not going to be staying there because as I come up to sort of that van in the back, I'm sure there was a lion. He was an absolute giant of a dog. And I just cacked myself and was like, yep, not going nowhere near that, see you later. And just walked back over towards the road and now taking a huge divert around that van. No, but the dog might be very friendly, I love dogs as well, as a lot of you know, but they can be, they don't know who I am and I carry this great big pack, so I've got to be a little bit cautious of them. And if someone's inside that van and they're asleep and the back doors are open and that dog's just loose and it's like, who's this guy with a big pack on and wants to come and, have a bit of a munch in the evening? I'd rather him not munch on me.
Enquanto caminhava pela costa, Toby encontrou uma van com as portas abertas e as luzes acesas. Talvez outro campista. Ele se aproximou devagar para investigar e viu um cachorro enorme dentro da van. Em alerta, ele seguiu mais adiante pela costa. Após uma longa procura, finalmente encontrou um local que parecia seguro para acampar. Mas então, as coisas começaram a ficar estranhas.
See, this is what's interesting. It's kind of just so real life. This is why I won't put a torch on, guys. They might not have even seen me. They might do now though, because they've just turned all their own lights off, so I might stand out a little bit. So I'm going to go. I'm going to get in the tent. Should anything exciting happen, then obviously I'll try and share that with you. But... Right, I'm not going to unpack all my stuff because there is a lot of cars coming over. I don't know if there's some kind of thing that goes on here at night. They seem to be ignoring me, but I have no idea if that... Yep, here we go, look. I don't know who that is. I'm gonna get out just in case, so I don't want to get some lunatic driving into the car, so I'll let them know. I stand up so they know I'm here. It might just be people that are curious.
Carros começaram a circular pela área. Não estava claro se eram apenas moradores locais ou se algo mais estranho estava acontecendo. Enquanto os veículos davam voltas, Toby se sentiu exposto e vulnerável, com sua barraca já montada.
But they seem to be going. So, yeah, I'm still going to stay at this point. And I'll be up for a while anyway, so I'll make myself one of my little drinks. And I'll be up for a while.
Oh, someone thinks they're being funny.
There's a car right there, just parked in the middle of the field.
Meia hora depois, uma moto acelerou próxima dali e logo desapareceu. Poucos instantes depois, outro carro estacionou no campo. Toby não fazia ideia do que estava acontecendo. Seria apenas um ponto de encontro para veículos ou algo mais suspeito?
Is it? So there's a few people there just pulled over. They were making a load of noise. I'm bringing the camera away from there. I'm not trying to dramatise this at all, guys. I think you know that about me. But this car just started to do like lots of wheel spins outside the tent and that. They're about 50 metres away from me. They've got outside the car and we were just standing there, just talking. And they're back in the car.
Então outro carro se aproximou perigosamente. Um grupo de pessoas saiu fazendo barulho e se aproximando de Toby. Ele permaneceu tenso, sem saber quais eram as intenções deles. Mesmo com a ansiedade, conseguiu dormir um pouco, mas ficou em alerta máximo. Na manhã seguinte, compartilhou como se sentiu à beira do limite e disse que não voltaria ao local tão cedo. Neste momento, mostra o quão vulnerável é a vida de um nômade. James é um youtuber do canal By The Curb, onde compartilha suas viagens de acampamento e aventuras de van life. Após um dia de exploração, ele estacionou sua camper perto de um parque tranquilo, pronto para passar a noite, até que algo inesperado aconteceu. Assustado ao ser acordado por batidas em sua van em um local isolado, ele sentiu pânico, mas reuniu coragem para ver quem era. Surpreendentemente, isso foi o que encontrou.
On the front, his father was a Briton. His father, his grandfather, was a Briton, and on the back. Did not work no one. And that's the third war. And that's the private race. And now the first is the English footballer. And now the reef, I don't know what it means, you see when you put on the dead people who you're supposed to love. Fun stuff, I haven't really heard before. I've got a new modern technology. We've got fucking stuff like this on there. You're a cameraman, you're shutting out higher.
It's coming back.
That's really worth the fella. That's the stock tomorrow, That's really what they're doing. Não, mas não sou por
So I'm just hoping that he'll get fed up.
James viu um homem tentando olhar dentro de sua van, gritando e demonstrando irritação. O medo o dominou, já que o comportamento incomum do homem sugeria algum problema de saúde mental. Afinal, que adulto se aproxima de um motorhome e escreve "Eu te amo" nela era realmente estranho. Embora James pretendesse sair do local, ele estava mal estacionado, dificultando uma saída rápida. Um nômade da van deve sempre escolher um lugar que permita uma saída fácil, garantindo segurança. Felizmente, o homem acabou indo embora, deixando James ileso. Essa situação destaca o pesadelo de todo campista, um estranho tentando forçar a entrada. Se você chegou até aqui e curtiu o vídeo, não esqueça de se inscrever no canal e deixar seu like. Isso ajuda muito. E aproveita que eu separei mais um vídeo aqui em cima para você assistir agora.